Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And this is a show where we cover movies on the growing list of films and has people asking us the question, You haven't seen that? Welcome back to another Intermission edition.
Intermission.
Intermission. Da-da-da-da.
Intermission.
We're covering both movie singular, and trailers.
Yes, trailers.
Trailers, what do we got?
Captain America, Brave New World, Gladiator 2, Cuckoo, and Trap.
Nice. And movie that we saw recently?
LongLegs.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. All right, let's go down the list.
All right, let's start with Captain America, Brave New World.
I'm a little bit more versed in a lot of the MCU movies and stuff.
I gave you credit for that.
Yeah. Right before this, we saw the trailer. Well, you saw the trailer for the first time.
Correct.
What'd you think? What were your thoughts as all those images, those bright, flashy images hit your eyeballs?
Well, first off, it kind of gave me a little bit of, was the movie Independence Day?
Okay.
A little bit. But I think
Is
it's
it
just
because
like,
that one shot of the White House?
yeah, I think it's just that. Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Do you know why he's in that movie?
I think you said the previous.
Yeah, the previous actor that played that role, Thaddeus Ross, passed away. John Hurt. I don't know exactly when he passed away, but he did.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and what better person to have take that role but Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford. Fun fact, we share a birthday.
Yeah. Do you know what day that is?
Yeah, July 13th.
Okay, I completely forgot.
God. Can count on you. Then you have Anthony Mackie.
Love Anthony Mackie. I love him as Sam Wilson.
I always mix up his first and last name, and I feel like he has a different last name. I don't know why. It just happens.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
The MCU as of late has been a little, I'll put it lightly, kind of mixed up with lack of consistency with their storylines and in their movies and in their TV shows. I'm not saying all of them are hits, not saying all of them are misses. I've been enjoying them as a nerd altogether, but it's so much that it's kind of hard to keep track, But I feel just from what I saw from the trailer and what I think some of the storyline is going to be, I feel like this might bring the MCU back to a more cohesive kind of story arc, because there is a character in there by the name of Isaiah. I had to forget his last name, but he was a character in the Captain America and Winter Soldier series on Disney Plus. And essentially, he is a person who was experimented on with the super soldier serum, maybe against his will.
Name is Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley. Okay. And it was such an impactful character because it kind of bears questioning, would Steve Rogers, the original Captain America, would he have gone through the super soldier program knowing that it was being experimented on other people? Again, possibly against their will. So hopefully they'll kind of explore some of that. I love, like I said before, I love Sam Wilson as Captain America because in the Winter Soldier Captain America show, they explored a lot of what happened post-snap, how people were dealing with that, the turmoil or angst in the African-American culture, them having to deal with all that. Just so many layers that I hope that they bring into this movie as opposed to just making it only like a big flashy thing.
Yeah. Do you also think that they may bring back Bucky maybe for a scene or something? Or
I hope so. I really do hope so. I like that character. And speaking of which, I feel like, speaking of which, his debut in Captain America Winter Soldier, the movie, that movie itself, it really did. It was a standout movie. It felt like it really, really focused on the story, the story. And it was sort of like a spy espionage movie. And it was awesome. I think it's neck, and a lot of people compare it neck and neck with like Iron Man, which is huge.
Well, I feel like if somehow they're going to be going from making this movie, do you think that they'll kind of pick some stuff up from where the show?
Maybe. I see there's some things that a lot of like the DCU and MCU have been doing where like, oh, you didn't watch the show? Well, well, too bad we're not going to sit and explain it for you. Or sometimes they'll kind of mention some stuff. I know in the Marvels, they did that in a very like neat package sort of way. I hope they don't bring a lot of what was sort of like talked about and dealt with in the shows, because I don't want them to leave the audience behind. But if they can sort of like, give it like a previously on in a neat package way, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So I will be leaving you to refresh my memory on the MCU.
Yeah, like at the very end of that trailer, you just went, you're all, Red Hulk! And I was like, do you know why there's a Red Hulk? You're like, no!
No, but it's red. No, I know a little bit of Red Hulk, but not enough to be like, she knows her shit. It's just very
Okay,
red.
then what do you know about Red Hulk?
He's red.
God damn it. So nothing. So nothing. Ever since like the Eric Bana Hulk, I was going to say Incredible Hulk, way back in, I'm not going to name the year, I don't fucking remember, probably 2005, 6. I'm probably completely wrong. The whole idea of like the Red Hulk has been really held over our head for over a decade or so, and having Thunderbolt Ross in so many of the movies and shows, and you didn't get the fucking Hulk yet, the Red Hulk. And it sucks. John Hurt didn't get to play that, but now you have Harrison Ford getting to play Red Hulk. So that's going to be fucking fun.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't break a leg.
Poor guy.
But even with the broken leg, he'll just still do it.
Yeah, he will.
Oh,
and when's that movie coming out?
Comes out February 14th,
Valentine's Day?
2025.
There you go. There's our date.
Yes.
Next on the list.
Gladiator 2, starring Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, your favorite, Jason Quinn, a.k.a. Joseph Quinn.
Oh, thank you very much.
Connie Nielsen, and I always mess up his last name, Barry
Keoghan.
Yes.
That's a great cast. Okay. I have seen the original Gladiator. Have you seen the original Gladiator?
I have.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
So we're not going to be covering it. That's going to be a super in-depth thing. We're trying to give ourselves like a bit of a break and kind of deal with some fun movies. Because after doing 7, I was like, I'm so fucking depressed.
But definitely we will watch it. Just a little recap.
Just a recap. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shit, dude, the Gladiator 1 came out, when?
24 years ago.
Fuck.
So this movie is coming out 24 years ago.
Wow.
24 years after the first Gladiator.
And when they had announced, and by the way, it was kind of like a late announcement. It was like earlier this year. It wasn't like, something that was in the works 2 years from now. You're like,
No.
wait, what? It's coming out this year?
And
really under wraps.
I thought it was just like a fluke. Like, oh, people are just announcing movies because they're announcing movies.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit.
I have trust issues. I cannot.
And then they dropped the trailer and I was like, holy fuck, this looks amazing.
And I waited to see this trailer until today.
I'm going to be entirely honest with you too, because like what is going to get people's asses in those movie seats to watch this particular movie? Just the cast alone and director Ridley Scott coming back to do his thing on it. You're like, oh, I probably didn't even need to see a trailer. Just knowing the aforementioned cast and director, I'm like, okay, let's go.
You could just give him set photos and I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm good.
But we did see the trailer and it looked amazing, and it looked like it had a little bit of a previously on and told enough of the story to bring it. Not that you needed it, but like it was a well constructed trailer. Showed enough of the action, showed enough of the actors.
Yeah, I think this Gladiator, Roman Empire, anything very historical.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Don't answer that. Continue.
Anything kind of within the ancient Greek or mythology times, like those kinds of movies are like my bread and butter.
Okay.
And I don't really need much. I don't even care if it's a bad movie. I'll still watch it just because I know that they have to do a little bit of research. So I have to see like how much research they did. But I'm just like,
I can't believe. Look at you with the fucking balls that you have to try to seem sophisticated, knowing good goddamn well you're gonna go see the movie because of Pedro Pascal.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna see the movie because of Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal.
Yeah,
and
they
not
related?
Joseph Quinn because his character is different. But you know, yeah, him too. But as you know, history is my thing. It's I can tell you.
Are you guys listening to this? Yes, listener, I'm talking to you guys. She's fucking trying to play it out like some sophisticated woman. It's because she's in there for
I'm
Space
editing
Daddy.
this, right? I could cut that out.
Leave it in.
Any movie that falls under that genre will be something that
Got it.
I like.
And when does it come out?
This one comes out November 22nd, 2024.
Is that our Thanksgiving movie?
It is.
We're hitting some holiday beats.
Yes, we're getting some holiday movies. This one, I believe, is the Friday before Thanksgiving, but definitely if you want to get away from your family, you can save that for a Thursday and go see the movie.
I mean, I think it's a safe bet that this is going to be a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I'll be super surprised and lose a big bet if it turns out to be shit.
Definitely. So we have to plan accordingly to this one because the Vegas GP is the same weekend. So
And Formula One stuff, yeah.
next movie is Cuckoo.
Yes.
And I don't mean by Isaac being cuckoo. I mean the movie Cuckoo.
So lame. Jesus Christ.
Starring Hunter Schafer.
What I feel like I've seen her someplace.
Euphoria.
So I remember seeing this trailer like right before or right after the trailer for The Watchers. And I think you and I both conflated those two trailers.
Yeah.
And it's a very creepy, there's some parts of the trailer really creepy where she's riding her bike and you see this shadow and someone's chasing her. I'm like, that's I love it. It's a mystery. I wonder what the reveal is going to be. Speaking of The Watchers, I hope it's not that fucking shit.
No, don't worry. It's not M. Night Shyamalan, so we're good.
Okay, good. But this is from the what studio is it? Neon? I feel like Neon has been competing with A24, and I feel like they've been catching.
I feel like they've been doing more of like the supernatural suspense horror movies.
Well, A24's been doing that too.
Yeah, but this one's like, I feel like the majority of the movies that are coming out lately are that type.
I don't know. I mean, whoever's listening out there,
my opinion.
Well, fuck opinion. I mean, you can like you can create a whole stat on it.
Yeah.
But what was the other movie that came out that we saw from Neon?
The one we're going to talk about today.
LongLegs. Okay, we'll jump to that in a second. But who else is in the cast? We
got Dan Stevens.
Oh, Dan Stevens, dude. Dan Stevens
has a great voice.
Has been popping up lately in a few things. He was basically Kong's vet in Godzilla versus Godzilla X Kong New Empire. He
was the Beast in the movie that we don't talk about, the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he has a great voice.
But I mean, like recently, and Abigail, he was in that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, something that I actually first saw him in was a FX show called Legion, which is in the X-Men universe. Fantastic. I fell in love with him there.
You also have Jessica Hardwick. I'm not sure who she is. Gemma Chan. We've all seen her in Eternals.
Okay.
And John Malkovich.
Great. Jesus, he's in that? That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes.
I hope it holds up because I give myself like a personal hype.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a movie that I'm like, you got to go. I don't think it's a movie where you got to go see it. I think we might be checking out maybe like during the weekday.
Yeah.
We'll get around to watching it.
I think it comes out roughly around the same time that Alien comes out. There's another movie that we talked about in a previous intermission trailers that comes out roughly. August is very packed with movies.
Okay.
So it comes out roughly around that time. So we'll probably just see it during the week.
Okay, for sure. We're definitely going to see it. When does it come out again?
August 9th.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I can get the tickets now. Next on the list.
Last movie for trailers is Trap.
Okay. I know we teased it in previous intermission episodes, and I wanted to actually save some space to actually talk about it. I've seen the trailer a number of times, and okay, this is starring Josh Hartnett, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Already those two things are going to get me to go see the movie. I know there have been some past fails with some of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. I know him producing The Watchers, directed by his daughter, Shauna Night Shyamalan, was not a great movie. We reviewed it in a past episode. But just this concept alone is so... I find it really fascinating. We talked about it in 7 where you kind of glorify the serial killers. So anyways, the concept of this movie as like shown in the trailer is Josh Hartnett is taking his daughter to go see some big pop concert.
Pop artist is played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Suleika.
Okay. So he takes his daughter to a concert And then he goes to the concession, and he sees that there's like heavy security and heavy law enforcement. He asks the guy behind the counter, like, hey, what's going on? And he goes, don't tell anyone this, but you know, the butcher, the hunter, the carver, whatever the serial killer nickname is, he goes, they think he's going to be here. So they're setting up a trap. And you're like, okay, that's fascinating. But as an audience watching this trailer, I'm like, well, you're kind of telling me all the things. Like, I'm still going to see this movie.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, is there something else, that might be revealed?
Is there more?
Not to say that, the recent M. Night Shyamalan movies have been having twists, but I kind of hope that this one does, that there's a little extra reveal, because I, kind of got the most of it in the trailer.
Yeah, it's Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's been coming out with some stuff too. He's great acting chops, that guy. And as a serial killer, a sexy serial killer, well, we haven't gotten that since Jeffrey Dahmer.
We glorify serial killers.
Who am I thinking of? Not Jeffrey Dahmer. Bundy. Al Bundy. That's when you jump in and say Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
That guy.
Okay.
So I want to see this movie.
Okay.
It'll be near top of the list when it comes. When does it come out?
August 2nd.
This one also comes in August?
Yeah, August 2nd.
Holy crap. Oh, man. We're seeing. Yeah.
So our end of July to all of August is basically packed with movies.
Okay.
And all movies like these movies, like starting off are a very heavy next month of movies.
Starting off with suspense.
Yeah, no. Starting off with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then going on into suspense and horror. So basically, it's Deadpool.
We start with some heavy laughs, and then dip down into some intense shit.
So basically, it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
We got Trap. We got Alien, which is going to be
fuck yeah,
a horror.
Oh my God.
Then we got Cuckoo, and then I forgot the other ones that we mentioned.
What a great time to be a nerd and a movie lover, huh?
But yeah,
that's awesome.
So we'll probably end up doing a small intermission on Deadpool and Wolverine.
1000%. Yeah. But let's stick in the horror realm. Can we please talk about LongLegs?
Yes.
All right. What were your expectations going into this movie?
I didn't have any.
Okay. You went in as blind as possible.
Other than seeing the trailer and just the trailer, it being following the one of the FBI agents, I was like, I don't have much to go off of this. Maybe other than them trying to get a serial killer.
Okay.
But besides that, I don't have anything.
Just off of the trailer itself, I didn't have a lot of expectations. It very artfully, very tastefully didn't reveal a lot of the story or any other things. It did a good job of not spoiling the movie, and I'm glad that it didn't.
Just to the point where I didn't know there was Nicolas Cage in the movie.
That's right. Yeah. And if you would have, I think you see who it's starring or whatever, then you kind of figure that out. And I know we talked about that in an episode prior, and it wasn't really a spoiler that he's starring in it. I mean, he's the titular character, LongLegs. And this review is going to be spoiler free, so we're going to be dancing around and on eggshells.
It's going to be so hard.
Yeah, that's what she said. So, my expectations. I do hear things, I do read things, and I was trying my best not to get a lot of people's takes, but you hear some stuff, and the hype was huge. People were DMing us like, "Are you going to see LongLegs? Are you going to see LongLegs? Have you seen it yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting around to it, this weekend or whatever." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" They're pouring over it, right? And I kind of didn't like that there was so much that level of hype to it.
Okay.
Because it was being compared to a few big movies, some of them being like Silence of the Lamb, which there were shades of that in this, Zodiac, a few other ones, right? And I get that. I totally get it. I like everything's derivative of another thing. Yeah. I like inspiration. It's totally fine. I got no problem with that. But when you compare it to those things, like, oh, it's going to be, how to the highest regard, you go, well, take a breath for a second, right? Because now you're thinking about that too much when you go into it. And then we saw the movie, and I was like, okay, I see. It didn't influence me. I saw those influences, and then I zoned in and I experienced the movie for what the movie was, and I liked it a lot. I wanted to love it. I really did want to love it. There were a few things in there, no spoilers, that I think could have been shifted around. Some things could have been revealed maybe at a later time in a certain way without completely changing the movie or anything like that. That would have felt like that. I felt like at the end of the movie, like, was I missing something?
Okay. So last night you told me, what would you rate this movie? And I told you 7.5. The more I sat with the movie and thought about here and there, without giving spoilers, some things in the movie, it did go up to an 8.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if I were to rewatch the movie, maybe I would like those maybe that one little scene or that one little aspect that made me feel like I was amiss may end up being a hit.
Okay. Yeah. No, totally.
But I do see where maybe some things could have been revealed later.
You had even said last night, you go, this is a movie that people are going to have to rewatch. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
There was a lot going on in the movie in like little Easter eggy kind of ways. And in the type of way where you go, well, I wonder if I'm going to see that early on when I rewatch it. You know?
Yeah. Just think the Leo meme where he's like, and he's pointing. That. But what you were saying with the whole hype and stuff, I saw the opposite on my social medias and like people engaging with mine.
Yeah.
It was like opposite on my side. So there was no hype, no reference and stuff to it's similar to Silence of the Lambs or anything like that. So it kind of made it even better for me because I didn't have it. It wasn't until
I know, I'm so jealous.
It wasn't even until you were telling me the night before or something that the movie it's similar to Silence of the Lambs. It has that feeling to it, and it has these. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. I am like, maybe I kind of somewhat hear. Maybe, well, like I said, anytime there's a movie review or anything regarding a movie that we're gonna see,
I try to go black out.
I just scroll right away. So I'll maybe catch a glimpse of it or hear a glimpse of it or something, but nothing that can stay that I can remember. So when you tell me that, I was just like, oh. You're kind of in a way, kind of like, I kind of want to see this movie now because I'm just like, okay.
You kind of want to, you mumbled it. You kind of want to see this movie? I kind of
did want to see it once I kind of like, you started saying me like, there's so much hype. And I'm like, oh, is there so much hype because it's going to be bad?
That was my thinking of it too.
So I'm just like.
Okay, so I know I was kind of nitpicking before. And I'm just nitpicking because I wanted this thing to be like, there were just a few things that were keeping it from being like a great fucking movie, right? This movie was awesome. I loved the way that it was shot. The cinematography was fan-fucking-tastic.
Different ratios.
They used some different aspect ratios in creative ways. So many of the scenes were shot so creepily. It was so well done. I was talking to my nieces about it, that they said that people were comparing it. They had a backrooms feeling. And if no one's familiar with backrooms, essentially it's like, a big empty store, right? And it kind of feels like you're not supposed to be there. It like almost feels otherworldly. The technical term is actually liminal space, but the accepted term is back room. And there, I could recall some scenes, like there's a library scene that's no reveal. She's sitting in the library, and just the way that it was composed, how she's sitting, and in frame she's sitting, and the sort of like big empty space behind her. It was so uneasy. I loved every scene. I was never comfortable.
I could see where you were never comfortable. There were some scenes where,
in a good way, I was never comfortable. Yeah, like I loved it.
Yeah, there are some scenes where the sound design.
Oh yeah,
it tricked me a bit.
Yeah,
and I'm like, is it going to happen? No, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then a beat or two later, something happens, and I'm like, thank you for leaving me uneasy, because I kind of miss that feeling sometimes when I'm watching certain genres of movies.
I go back and forth on sound design and music. This one had great sound design, great music. The score is wonderful. But there were a few moments, not a lot, where I go like, oh well, fuck, man. No, but there were just a few moments where the sound design and the score was like building up and then leading me on, or not leading me on. Excuse me. It was kind of letting you know something was about to happen, like before it was going to happen. I go, well, don't telegraph it too much. But it didn't happen a bunch. Still thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Another thing that we didn't talk about was I love that this was set in like the 90s during the Bill Clinton, and as they show the picture of Bill Clinton back there. And I was like, wait, why would they set it in the 90s. And then I thought, and this is something that I've talked to multiple people about, is movies set before cell phones are way creepier because you don't have access to communication, easy communication.
Yeah, and you would have to actually research.
Yeah.
Like,
you got it.
actually,
It's a reason to go to the library.
yeah, you have to go through all those old newspapers or whatever you're looking for to at least try to get that information.
Speaking of which, the thing that that I felt there was a bit of a miss was, and I was talking to other people about this, and they were like, "Ew, I liked it a lot, but there was just something missing." I'm like, I'll tell you what's missing. There was a lot of the detective work, right? She's an FBI agent, right? There's a lot of the detective work in there. And then it kind of like, there was no payoff for it because there's a certain aspect, there's a certain part of something including in the movie, I'm not going to reveal anything, that is so crucial that it sort of like negated all of the police work. Because I like those type of like Silence of the Lamb police. You're figuring out the clues and decoding this and connecting the dots there. You're like, yeah, it's like that detective superpower. And then when this other thing kind of pops up, you go, well, fuck all the police work. Now we're focusing on this part of the movie. That was the only thing where I felt like, I don't know, maybe they should have given more respect to like or more credit to the police work.
Yes.
Do you have more to say on that?
No, not the police work, but the way that the lead, Lee Harker.
Yeah. Oh, she's wonderful.
Yeah. The way her character was, it reminded me a lot of the director's character in Legally Blonde, where he was like a dorky. Well, Dorky David was the character in Legally Blonde. So if anybody has seen Legally Blonde, you'll kind of get a little bit of that. So it kind of played a lot of.
His name's what, Oz
Perkins.
Yeah.
So it played a lot of that awkwardness kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. And I don't know if it was just me, but it was just like an instant like reference. I'm like, okay. After we came out of the movie, I'm like, who is the director? And I looked it up and I was like, Legally Blonde kid, the dorky kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, makes sense. Here it is.
Because her character is Lee Harker. By the way, who's the actress again?
Maika Monroe.
Okay. Her playing Harker that way, which was like meek yet powerful. You know, I don't ever feel like she was like defenseless. Like she handled herself very well, and the whole social awkward thing, I think we can relate to. That's why we do podcasts.
She's in It Follows.
Oh no shit, that's a good movie. And speaking of performances, of course, Nicolas Cage. Again, not going to reveal anything other than definite inspirations from some of his past roles. Some may or may not, we may not have covered in past YHST episodes. I'll leave it at that. I loved it. I love this resurgence of Nicolas Cage.
I could see what characters he kind of, his previous characters he
spoil
tapped
it.
into. No saying spoilers. I could see what previous characters he tapped into.
Yes.
Which made it even more fun to watch.
Yes. Speaking of fun, there's certain scenes where I was like, you know, he does his performance and I smile, but I'm not smiling because the scene is meant to elicit a smile, but because I fucking love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I love how all of his roles are so freaking different.
Can we talk about his
Look?
prosthetics?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Don't reveal too much, but yes.
Yeah, no. The look that he has in the movie, it's very much eerie and unsettling.
There you go, unsettling.
You just can't look away.
Do you know what you know, he helped design that?
I didn't know that.
So he said that he was inspired by when he was a child and his mother would be putting like cold cream on and he would get her attention. And as she's like halfway putting it on, turns towards him and it's sort of like that, you know, kind of Mrs. Doubtfire, like, hello, white face.
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, big time. Oh, I loved it.
I can see that. Yeah. And
I want to rewatch this movie.
His look in that movie, very unsettling, very eerie, and goes with the movie. The only thing that I do wish was that they revealed him later.
Yeah. So I mentioned before there were certain things being revealed, and that being one of them. They revealed him way too early.
Just, I feel like that's where it missed with me. I think that was my miss.
Because they were already doing a lot to conceal his face not necessarily his identity, but conceal his face, right? And I just don't think that the moment where they did do it, that it was deserved.
I feel like they could have done like
It didn't have an impact.
No, I feel like they could have done like a way where I know when he's first introduced and it's kind of like the chin kind of down kind of thing, and I feel like they could have played with like showing different parts of his face, but without it having like just angle it certain ways. So you're kind of like in your head as you're watching the movie, kind of like trying to puzzle it all together. That would have been great because it's already making you think of what's going.
And maybe this is towing the line of like maybe revealing too much, but there is a scene that his face is concealed by like a shadow as he's driving. And then a scene happens, they reveal his face, and then he's driving again, and you get to see his face. And I'm like, well, what was the fucking point?
Yeah, I feel like if they did go down this route, maybe show his face less, so you kind of would forget what his face kind of looks like.
Interesting.
And it would be more minimal.
Yeah.
That I felt like that would have worked too.
Just those are our little nitpicks, because I kind of started to care for this movie because the majority of this movie was really awesome. And, it's just some of those little standout things that if they would have tweaked it, could have elevated it a lot more.
Yeah, but I'll go watch it again.
Yeah, I would definitely go watch it again. I recommend people to check this movie out. Yeah. Add it to the top of the list. I think with all the hype, it's already at the top of most people's lists. From what I've sort of am getting on our social media, the people have already seen it.
Yeah, definitely go watch it, rewatch it before Deadpool.
Elva prescribed.
Ta-da!
Ready to wrap it up? Any other last thoughts? Anything else?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the meantime, let us know about any other movies you guys are excited to see, any trailers you might have seen or you recommend, if you want us to kind of cover. Check out our other movie reviews on some of our last intermission. Mm-hmm. I do have a couple of other video movie reviews out that you can find on our social media.
At Forehead Films, FOREHED Films on Instagram and TikTok.
Absolutely. Let's keep that conversation lively in the comment section, in the DMs. I love the interactions that we're getting from people. I like this little community that we're sort of like cultivating. Mm-hmm. So let's continue to keep that going. It's fun watching movies and talking about them, ain't it? In the meantime, again, let us know about the movies you're excited to see, and then let us know about movies that are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question. You haven't seen that? Later, guys.
Okay, bye.